peer-reviewed medical journal published a case study of a woman who had been blind. She used a cane to walk. She read Braille. She went to a school for the blind. She had a disease called macular degeneration, juvenile macular degeneration, which is incurable.
How old was she?
At the time this happened, I'm not actually sure.
Okay.
But she'd been blind for, my recollection is 17 years or something like that. And she married a pastor, a Southern Baptist pastor. And one day they're getting ready for bed, and he just puts his hands on her and prays and says, God, I know that you can heal my wife. And I pray that you would right now. You have the power to do it, and I pray that you would bring back her sight. She opens her eyes, and she has perfect vision. And that's been a number of years since that has happened. So this wasn't like a fluke or that went away. But now.
So now her eyesight is back.
Her eyesight is back. And you go, okay, so how do you explain that?
Yeah.
How do you explain the timing of it coming immediately after a prayer to God for that kind of healing?
So that's a really important part. Is the timing.
The timing. Now, you have an incurable condition.
Yeah.
This is the only case, I believe, that's been in a medical journal of an instantaneous healing of this particular illness. There's another similar case that is also reported in the medical literature about a man who was healed of a gastroparesis, I believe it's called, where he had, since his infancy, tubes inserted into his stomach. And he went for prayer, and hands were laid on him. He was prayed for. He felt like an electric shock go through his body, and he was healed of an illness that there is no medical record of anybody ever being healed of. The tubes have been removed, and he's been healed for I think well over a decade now. So. But it's a timing thing on those. Yeah. But here's the thing to me is I heard about a woman with a PhD from Harvard who had done her own research in Mozambique, where there was a cluster of miracles that had taken place. And they sent a research team there to investigate this. And they would get all the people who are blind or deaf or hard of severe hearing or visual problems to come out from these villages. They would test them scientifically to determine their level of hearing or vision. They were then prayed for immediately in the name of Jesus for healing, and then they were immediately measured again scientifically. Was there any change? And in virtually every case, there was improvement. In fact, the average was a tenfold improvement in visual acuity. One woman was so deaf that when they first encountered her, she couldn't hear a jackhammer next to her. After prayer in the name of Jesus, she can now hear normal conversation.